Hello everyone. I recently watched an episode of Rick and Morty that I think describes spirituality better than most spiritual gurus and better than most spiritual videos that I've seen online in a very long time. Let's take a look. The premise of this episode is that Morty, the grandson, gets stuck inside of a video game, and his identity in real life is split up amongst the game's 5 billion NPCs. His grandfather then enters the game as a character named Roy and tries to convince all the NPCs that they are all part of Morty. The grandfather's plan is to get every single character on a spaceship so they could get to the edge of the video game and they can all come back to life in real life. But in order to do that, he needs to convince all of the characters that they are just all part and parcel of a bigger character outside in the real world, and that this is all just a video game. That when the followers find resistance amongst themselves, there is one Morty that stands out the most. She ends up becoming the grandfather's right-hand person and becomes the main person responsible for convincing all of the Mortys that they are just all one Morty. And as time moves forward, more people are convinced, more people are happy, more people are living in union together because they all understand that they're just the same person, just currently separated into different bodies. So as they continue to travel around, they end up going to the White House, where the president, Morty, tells the Martha Morty that he has already known that they are all just part of Morty, but he doesn't want to go back to being the one part of Morty. Why would he want to do that when he could be here, live an independent life, be the owner, be the king of a country, be the owner of a household, have possessions, and have all these other things? Why would he want to give all that up to go back to the main source? So eventually, because of personal interest and because of selfish interest and because of each character's ego, they started going into war with each other. They went from being happy and being peaceful and being loving and caring to now killing each other and shooting each other. So as Marta goes through some personal experiences, she eventually comes and turns around and decides to help her grandfather get all the players back on the ship and get ready to go. Then eventually, they all get on the ship and they get ready to go and they all re-enter their main real life body. If you can understand the main concept in this Rick and Morty episode, you can transcend human existence. You can live on this earth but be a lotus flower, unbothered by everything. Your knowledge, your intelligence, your life can all exponentially grow. The idea that we are all just one person currently separated into different bodies is the main concept of spirituality and existence. God has made me, therefore God has made you, therefore we shall all love each other, we shall all respect each other, we shall all care for each other. If God was the ocean, we are all just a drop of water from that ocean. If God was the sun, we are all just the rays of that sun. We are all just currently separated into different bodies, but we all exist in union, and our life and existence is actually a lot bigger than this current human existence. But unlike this episode where they all need to rush on a spaceship, we have the opportunity and the privilege to enjoy this life, enjoy this earth, and to be happy and to be at peace. Just like how in this episode, when they all realized that they're all the same person, just currently separated into different bodies, they were in peace, happiness, and union. There was no wars, there were no crimes. But once they all started prioritizing their own selfish interests, that's when all war broke out. That's when people started killing each other, and that's when people started hurting each other. This is exactly what's happening here on Earth. When we can all remember that we are all the same, we should all love each other, we should all care for each other, we should try our best to treat each other the way that we want to be treated. The whole world can be harmonious and in peace. But when we put our greed, our personal interests, our personal desires over another person, that's when conflict, war, crime, and all these other things exist. So after watching this, my main question to you is, what is the downside of believing this way? Because I cannot think of any. If you could think of any downside of believing that we are all from the same creator, that we should all love and care about each other, even if somebody doesn't show us love and respect in the same way that we would show them, that's okay. At the end of the day, we are all still part of one. We are all just separated into different bodies currently on our own journeys. Our goal is to maximize our lives, to be happy, and to eventually transcend this human existence. What is the downside of thinking this way? As you've seen in the episode, nobody was getting killed, everybody was happy, and everybody was at peace. But aside from that, in your practical life, there's no downside of thinking this way. When you remember that we are all from the same creator, therefore we are all the same, you naturally become more loving, caring, more intelligent, more compassionate, more open-minded, more present in the moment, more unbounded by any circumstances. Your life can transform. We've seen it here with this episode. When this character had a deep intuition of what the grandfather was saying was true, she went from an ordinary person to a leader of a society. She shaved her hair, she changed her look. Her father and her mother were opposed to what she wanted. Her father was like, "You were born a Jewish person." She asked him to say one thing about being a Jewish person, and he couldn't do it. And that's really like the world that we live in today. People have an opinion, people have a bias, and people have an ego. Why they have it or why they feel that way, they don't know. But when your mind becomes spiritual, when it becomes pure, and when you understand the true nature of your identity, these kind of things and these kind of statements from people are gonna unbother you. Just like this character. When you know that you are the same person as the person standing in front of you, that we are all the same, just separated into different bodies, you can start reading people's mind. You can start reading people's emotions. You can start reading people's faces. You can start understanding how people think because everybody is just a reflection of me. This is all just a reflection of me. We are all the same. We are all a drop of water from the same ocean. When you have this knowledge, you have superpowers. You can start convincing people of stuff. You can start explaining to people things. People start naturally trusting you. People start naturally loving you and appreciating you. With the truth that we are all the same, you could turn any foe into a friend. Because all of us instinctively and deeply already know that this is the reality. Our mind and our current human form just makes us forget. Funny enough, cartoons really can teach us stuff. Oh, there's one more thing. And another funny part about this episode was when they started talking to the president, and the president was like, I have already known this. Do you think I could be in this position without knowing this information? Think of the most successful person that you know. Let's just say Mark Zuckerberg, right? One of the richest people. Type up, look on Google, Mark Zuckerberg, Indian spirituality, and see how he went to India, spent a lot of time in India, and all the things that he came back with. Indian philosophy, Vedic philosophy teaches us the same thing. There's one God. If he is the sun, we are all just a ray from that sun. We are all just a part and parcel of God. Mark Zuckerberg went to India, realized this, and now he's one of the richest people in the world. One of the people who told Mark Zuckerberg to go to India, look, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, again, one of the richest people. The ISKCON organization is an organization that also talks about this. They talk about how there's one God. God is the creator. We are all just from God, and therefore we should all love each other and care about each other. And if you look up Henry Ford ISKCON, if you look up Henry Ford ISKCON, you'll see that Henry Ford not only donated a lot of money to ISKCON, but also his son is a part of the organization. One of the most successful people in the world. How are they successful? What do they know? How can they go up in front of thousands of people and speak? How can they do such good business with people? How do they interact with people? How do they know what to do, when to do it? It's because they realize the profound truth. They realize that this is all just an experience. We all come from the same creator. This is my life. Let me focus on my life. Let me not waste my time looking at a different part of me that is playing a different character. What the neighbor is doing, or what the person is doing, or what that person is doing, or what that coworker is doing, at the end of the day, these are all just me in different bodies. But I'm not going to focus on these people. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to put the blinders on and focus on what is important for me. And as a result, these people are the most successful people in the world. If this is the first video that you watched about spirituality, I hope that this video was really able to give you the core concept of it, what you need to know, why it's important, and how it can change your life. As for me, I'm speaking from experience. I studied this stuff. I practice it in my daily life every single day. I hold myself very true to it, and my life has changed profoundly from it. This knowledge was the key for me to open my eyes, become conscious, and become spiritually awake. And I hope that this episode was really able to give you some insight for your personal life as well. So my friends, I hope to see you all next time.